E-rigs cost too much, and I'm a big fan of e-rigs. I recommend them to a lot of people. It's great for beginners, and it's also great for an experienced dabber because it's going to give you a consistent dab over and over again. But oh my god, do e-rigs just cost way too much. I've just been thinking about this more and more, and I can't get over the fact that most e-rigs cost as much as video game consoles. The top of the line e-rig, the Puffco Peak Pro, costs the same amount as a PlayStation 5. The no disc, the base model PlayStation 5 is $400. The Peak Pro without any upgrades, $400. Sure, you get the disc version of the PS5 for $500, but if you upgrade your Peak Pro with the 3D chamber, that's the same price. An e-rig costs the same amount as a gaming console. And I have to make this comparison because I'm a video game nerd, but think about what a PS5 can do. Obviously, you can play games, you can go on the internet, you can obviously download the Twitch app and tune into my smoke sessions after 9 p.m. Eastern, but you can do a lot of crazy stuff. You can live broadcast to Twitch from your game console. You can play Blu-rays on it. You can browse the internet. You can do a ton of stuff on a PlayStation 5, and what can you do with the Puffco for the same price? Well, you can heat up a chamber and dab maybe 20 times if you're lucky. It's a battery and it heats up a chamber and there's a piece of glass to go with it. And it's the same price as a PlayStation 5. Like, I don't know. This is wild to me. This is something I've been thinking about more and more lately. I'm a big fan of e-rigs, like I said. I have a lot of them. I've been using them for several years and I'm still going to keep using them. I'm interested in trying out more and trying new things. But oh my god, are they so friggin' expensive? So I'm asking anybody if you know about the cheap ones. I think, like, realistically, they should cost like $100. Like a Puffco should cost $100. It's not that crazy of a device, maybe 150. But oh my god, they're charging so much for these e-rigs. So I'm asking anybody if you know of any really good ones, like under 100, under 150 bucks, I'm willing to try them out because a lot of these higher end ones, they just have so many marketing costs baked into their price that it's absolutely ridiculous. I think the source of the issue is the Puffco Peak because let's be honest, most of these e-rigs that are out there are like direct knockoffs of the Puffco Peak. There's so many of them, they look exactly like it. It's like they all bought Puffcos and like, how do we make this but a little bit different so we can sell our own? Like the Focus Carta is a direct knockoff of the Puffco Peak, and they only sell it for like $50 cheaper. Like I think it's like $350 for their base model or whatever. That's $50 less than a PS5, but it's like $50 more than a Nintendo Switch. And that's not even going to give you as many dabs because the battery doesn't last as long. But I'm like super open to finding like that hidden gem. So if you know about any, leave me a comment. Tell me what the good e-rigs are. What are the cheap ones? What are the ones nobody's ever heard of? I know there's a lot more people making them now. I have seen a lot just through posts, and people ask me about a ton of different e-rigs all the time on my Twitch stream. But most of them, like, I've never heard of that. I've never even seen it. I think I'm ready to try out all the cheap ones because I recommend e-rigs a lot to people. I think it's great for beginners. It's great for advanced dabbers. But bro, they're too much. Let's be honest, they're too much. Right? And you know, you got to think about, oh, they can only sell you a new device every so often. They're probably going to come out with a new one every 2 or 3 years. So you can only really buy it that often. But like, bro, the same price as a PlayStation 5. They don't come out with a new gaming console every 2 or 3 years. And sure, I think PlayStation probably makes money when you buy games and then sign up for PlayStation Network or whatever. But bro, the fact that a Puffco Peak Pro is the same price as a PlayStation 5, it's still blowing my mind right now. Like, I don't have a PlayStation 5. But bro, you play that new God of War on it. You can't play God of War on a Puffco Peak Pro. You can't play any games. You could just dab. You could just make the chamber get hot. You can make it get less hot, or you can make it get hotter. Maybe it's hotter for shorter. Maybe it's less hot for longer. It just heats up a chamber and it's a battery with a piece of glass. So this is a rant from me. Obviously, I think that e-rigs should be cheaper. If you make e-rigs and you're watching this, what are you doing? There's so many people missing out on good dabs because you want to charge too much for your devices. Come on. Look, I'm not an expert on manufacturing. I don't really know the cost of what goes into a lot of these things. But bro, when an e-rig costs as much as a gaming console, the new Xbox is $400. The new PlayStation is $400. The Nintendo Switch, I think the OLED one, I think the OLED one is like $350, right? Bro, It's absolutely madness. It's nuts. So I'm open to looking for new brands. I mean, obviously, I think you should spend a little bit more to get nicer things sometimes, but like there's a limit. There's a proper ratio. Like think about what you're actually getting and what you're spending. But I make content. I'm gonna get asked about all these devices. So even if they are overpriced, I'm probably still going to buy some coming out in the future, but I'm looking for the cheap ones. I'm looking for the one that costs half as much and works just as good, so I can scream the name from the top of mountains, because the products that I recommend most, they're not sponsored products. They don't reach out to me and say, hey, tell people to like our products. I go out and I find the things that I like, and the stuff that I really like, I'll talk about because it's good. If I'm talking about something, it's because I really think it's good. Unless I'm specifically saying it's not good. You got to listen to what I say. Sometimes people will buy something if you're holding it. If I'm like, hey, don't ever get this, it's the worst thing on the planet, I'll get a message the next day like, hey, I bought that thing that you recommended. I'm like, what? What did somebody dub over with other words? How did you get I recommended out of me saying don't get this? Anyway, if you're telling me you haven't linked your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account to subscribe to my Twitch channel for free and give me that Jeff Bezos weed money, then I'm going to say this to you. Do it. Check out my video, the highest I've ever been. Hope you have a lit day. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, you better not do it. You better not hit that button. Peace out.